Well, folks, welcome to our kitchen. We got the haul of mushrooms in here. We're going to talk about how long you can keep them and storing them and freezing them and cooking them. So this is the 2-day haul that I got this week on May 18th and the 20th, which is pretty much the peak of the Morel season. They were, all pretty far off the road up on the mountains, but you someday may find them right in your yard along the road occasionally, so you don't have to go mountain climbing to find a morel. And like I said, they're one of the most obvious ones in the mushroom world to find. There's not much up this time of year in May. We got some black ones and we got some blonde ones, and most of them are blonde in Vermont, and the blacks are just a little bit darker and rarer. What I want to talk about is obviously it's now what is it? This is 24th, and we've had these in Ziploc bags in the refrigerator, so you can store them for quite a while if you don't get them wet. I just bring them home, look for bugs on them, seal them up in Ziploc bags, put them in the refrigerator, and then when I get a chance to process them, we take them out. So they've been in there. You can usually keep them up to a week. I wouldn't go much further than that, and you can tell some are further gone than others. Those we usually cook right away. But anyways, so we get them out of the refrigerator, and then we decide which ones we're gonna do the freezing with and which ones are gonna stuff. These, obviously the bigger, fresher ones, we're gonna save for stuffing, and we probably wouldn't do any more than 2 at a time. So we'll keep out 5 or 6 so we can have them for over a period of 2 or 3 nights. The other smaller ones we're gonna saute in butter and olive oil and a little bit of salt, sort of half cook them and freeze them that way. 2 flat pieces stacked up, half cooked, and then we take them out and mix them in with venison or whatever meat or pasta we're putting them in. So to start with, there's usually some grit and stuff on the outsides on the stalks, and so the first thing we do is we obviously rinse them off with a brush, shake the water out of them, and start slicing them. Slugs are the one thing that gets inside of these. They're all pretty hollow, and so I like to slice them open before I wash them, get them cut in half. And by the way, this is just my personal preference. Some people slice them this way, but I found for cleaning them and freezing them, that's a little more practical. So you want to slice them right down the middle, and then we're going to just start rinsing them and get them into the frying pan. As far as the stuffers, the big ones, obviously we're going to wash them also, but we're going to just slice them on one side to make sure we can get the stuffing inside of them. That's basically all we do, is slice one side from tip to the end, open it up like that, and make sure there's no slugs in there. And then we go into the stuffing, and Lynn is gonna.
I got a great recipe with spinach and ricotta cheese for stuffing the morels.
We're gonna clean these up and rinse them off, and then show you how to stuff them and also freeze them up. All right, so we've got a few of these big ones stuff, and Lynn is gonna go through her recipe that we prefer, and I'm sure you can add or subtract anything you want to mix it up. So go ahead, Lynn.
Yep. Okay, so the first thing we do is going to preheat the oven to 350. Get whatever size pan you need. I'm going to pour a little bit of melted butter in the bottom of the pan to start with, just so it coats it a little bit. Pat has already washed the mushrooms. So this is a ricotta cheese and spinach. Depending on how many mushrooms you're cooking, is going to determine on how much you want to use. So I'm going to start with 2 cups of ricotta cheese and a cup of, I do the frozen chopped spinach. And you just want to mix it all together. So once that's mixed pretty good, you could put in just about a teaspoon or so of minced garlic, however much you prefer. That's a little much. And then I do chives that we have in our garden, fresh ones. And you just want to just trim them a little bit, small as you want. And as many as you want. And then just mix it all up. And Pat's going to get a mushroom here and help me stuff them. And you don't need anything else in them, like salt or anything like that. If you want to, you can do that later. And it is easier to do with a teaspoon. And stuff as much as you want, just so it's not going to all ooze out while it's cooking. And do a little bit more in there one.
Down here. That's it.
And that's it. That's it.
So
you don't have to cover them. You bake them on 350 for about 35 minutes. Again, depending on how many you have in the pan and the size of the mushrooms. You might have to bake it a little longer or not as long. And you can sprinkle a little bit of butter over the top of it again, or a little bit of olive oil. I did butter.
So we're going to stick these in the oven and
we'll show you the results in
result.
35 minutes.
All right.
Yeah. We're back. It's been 35 minutes. We're back. Let's see the finished product. Look at that. It makes it a lot of its own juice, so you don't have to worry about adding anything extra to it. Let's give it a try.
They do open up.
Some of them do open up, so it's okay. It does stay in the mushroom, though.
And tonight we're going to add a little.
I have some homemade tomato sauce that I made. So we're going to add a little bit of that on the top. And then we're ready to go after we toast.
Cheers.
Cheers.
To Morels season in Vermont.
Yes.
Stay tuned. We're going to show you how we cook up the rest of them for freezing and pulling them out later in the year. So thanks for following us.